I bet when you started your first business, you likely did not realize how many decisions that you would need to be making. And as an entrepreneur, we take risks. It's part of the game, right? We experiment, we play, we're positive, we're committed. And if you've ever heard that saying, like, don't stop 6 inches away from gold, I truly believe that every entrepreneur really believes in their heart that they're always 6 inches away from gold. But I do think it's funny. I know if you've seen the cartoon that's usually around, it's like a miner in a mine and he's chipping away, and he gives up and he walks away. And in the end, like 6 inches away from him is all the gold. Well, what's really funny is I've seen a cartoon where there was that on the top and it said, or, and instead of it being gold, it was a monster. And I thought that so personified the quandary, if you will, of leadership in your business. And how do you know when you should keep going or when you should stop backing a bad decision? Well, howdy, everyone. My name is Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules. We provide business coaching for business owners so that you can create predictable profits to grow and scale without the burnout. And with every level of success, your level of leadership needs to evolve with your business. And I think how to know when to stop backing a bad decision is one of the finer points. It's part art, part science. Sometimes it's your head, sometimes it's your heart, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about today. So first off, I want to say, okay, when do you know that it's time to start backing a bad decision? And I think there are some signs. You're not getting results. Your intuition, your gut says something's off, something's not right. This is not what we should be doing. Even if the rest of the story says, yes, go full on, keep on going, right? There's some negative outcome that's happening. Maybe it's you're investing too much time, energy, resources into something that is not developing on the timeline that you need it to be developing on. For instance, let me give you an example of what that means. Sometimes we're in a more cash imperative or a cash build phase, and the decision that we make is a really long-term decision that doesn't align strategically with where you are and what your business's needs right now. That's when I say it's out of alignment, okay? But it can be out of alignment with your values. It can be out of alignment with your mission, your vision, and how you do the work. There's so many more times, I think, that the reasons that it's so hard to stop backing a bad decision is because it's out of alignment with who we are. And we feel like we should just give it one more college try. Now, I do want to kind of put a big, big, big asterisk right here. I do believe you should work the problem. We are problem solvers. That's what entrepreneurs do, hands down. And sometimes the nut that we're trying to crack is hard. And so I do believe that you should give it the college try, but you also just need to know when to say stop. Now, here's a lot of the reasons why people find it hard to stop backing a bad decision. One is it's a moment of dread, right? Nobody really enjoys the conflict or the tough conversation that might have to occur when you say, no, not more. This isn't right for us right now. Also, I think we worry about our credibility, our reputation sometimes, but I think the biggest thing, and here's like the key moment for you to take away from this on how you can be a better leader in your business so you can produce profits, growth, and scalability in a way that isn't about burnout, is don't fall prey to the sunken cost fallacy. Now, the sunken cost fallacy is the argument that somebody else may use on you or that you use on yourself when you think that you've invested too much time, too much money, too much energy, and too much effort into whatever it is that you're doing that's not producing fruit. It is oftentimes at this point in time, if you find yourself thinking that or somebody is sharing that with you, you really have to take a hard look at what you're doing and understand What is it going to take for you to really be successful with this venture and this decision? And if what it's going to take is going to drain your business, then the chances are it's just time to say adieu. It's time to say goodbye. It's time to say, this isn't right for us right now. And I'm going to give you three little tips on how you can stop backing a bad decision in your business and do it in a way from a position of strategy and a position of leadership. So the first part I'm going to tell you, listen to your gut. Listen to your gut, but then back it up with data, right? We had a situation in of the marketing decision we made. We invested some money into it, could have produced really good clients, but as the opportunity kept unfolding, it became to be out of alignment with our value system and how we like to show up. And it was out of alignment with the clients that we love to work with. And we had to say at that point in time, this isn't right for us. This is not the place we're supposed to be. I would appreciate a refund, but I also knew fully I wasn't going to get it. And so we walked away from the situation. We made a different decision. Now, I could lament the amount of money that we invested. And a lot of times this is what we do as business owners is we hold judgment. We hold judgment on the fact that we made a mistake. Life is full of mistakes. We're human, right? Why would you be any different in your business? It's just that you have to see that mistake as a learning, right? And we've got to be able to change course as we become better learners and as we learn more. The second tip that I want to give you on how to stop backing a bad decision in your business is to act fast. Communicate clearly and fairly. It is so easy to come into these types of situations where we're about to have a hard conversation with somebody. It could be our vendor, it could be our client, it could be a team member, it could be ourselves, where the emotion, the frustration, the disappointment, the sometimes anger on one person or another can overcomplicate the situation. And that's why I say, I want you to act quickly. If you're getting that nudge, you need to listen to the nudge before the nudge becomes a 2x4, before the 2x4 becomes a semi-truck, right? We need to pay attention to these things so that you can remain nimble. You don't want to go too far down a road that it winds up being a dead end, but you also want to be communicating clearly. And one of the books I love, just as a side note, is The Power of a Positive No. Now, this is, I call the Disney moment. If you've ever been to Disney and if they've ever had to tell you no, which I'm sure they had to, they do it in the most eloquent way. When we were visiting Disney, I almost went out of my way to get a no because I wanted to see how deep that training was and how effective it was in dealing with people who may not be happy at any point in time, right? So you want to use this strategy of communicating clearly and fairly and acting fast. Our third tip in how to stop backing a bad decision is to move along. Move along. I always think of the song, just move along, kind of thing. But here's the truth of it. Is you don't need to carry the weight of a mistake. You don't need to judge the situation, the people involved in the situation, or your decision. You only need to learn from it and then move along to the next thing. Too many times we're seeing business owners get stuck in a rut. Either they're not learning from their decisions and they're repeating them like Groundhog Day, or they're carrying so much weight and judgment that they stop making decisions because they're afraid to make a bad decision. I have been doing entrepreneurship. I have been an entrepreneur for 15 years. I still make poor decisions because where I am today, I've never been. That's part of the entrepreneurial journey. That's part of growing as we move along. But I want to give you a special little tip here. Just because this decision didn't work today does not mean that this decision wouldn't work tomorrow. That is the crazy nature of entrepreneurship and business right now. The rate of change is happening so quickly that a former bad decision could become your golden ticket coming down the road. And there's case studies after case studies after case studies where a company tried an initiative, it miserably failed. They came back 10 years later and had success. So your decision that you say no to today just may not be ready for you. Your business may not be ready. The market may not be ready. The technology may not be ready. But that doesn't mean that you can't try again. So that's it for today, guys. I hope this helped you a little bit feel better about saying no, changing course, and stop backing those bad decisions when you need to. Hey, listen, if we could help you grow and scale your business, help you create more predictable profits, and do it without burnout, well, we'd love to be there for you. That's it for today, guys. I hope you're doing well. This has been Leslie Hassler with Your Biz Rules.